थोड़ा सा उसने कर रहा है। ओहो, आप लोगों को लग रहा था हम एग्जैजरेट कर रहे हैं, ये वाकई पाकिस्तान की तरह लगता है। दिस इज लिटरली लाइक दामने कोस्ट के ऊपर थोड़ा जाए आपको यही व्यूज आते हैं। इमेजिन करें वहाँ पे सामने फैसल मस्जिद है, ठीक है, सिर्फ हमारे पास ये साइंस नहीं है, इसके अलावा हमें थोड़ा गन शन डाल दें इधर, थोड़े शॉपर शूपर फेंक दे थोड़े और CD70 और 125 पे बॉयज घूम रहे होंगे, फिर ज़रा फील आए ना पाकिस्तान वाली, वरना बाकी सब सेम है, सिर्फ जो है ना वो पाकिस्तानी वाइब नहीं आ रही है।
मुझे चाहिए 5 लड़कियाँ।
America, the land of opportunity for corporations, built on the backs of slaves and countless genocides around the globe. This country is none like any other. Whether it's the greatest country in the world is up for political debate, but for travelers, this is hands down the greatest country for road trips. In my 8 years in the US, I've explored 42 states, had more than 300,000 miles of road trips, and countless unforgettable experiences. Now, I'll be sharing with you one of the longest and most exciting road trips across the country. A full loop from coast to coast and back, with more than a month on the road. An experience that will take us through some of the most incredible landscapes and cities in the world. Join the Khanabadosh Boys as we travel from one of the largest supervolcanoes to the deepest canyons on Earth. From bustling cities to roaring waterfalls and desolate peaks, from alpine lakes to the most iconic coastlines in the world. Subscribe and become a member of our community of travel enthusiasts, our Khanabadosh Kafila, and tag along for a journey of a lifetime. The Great American Road Trip. We're on a coast-to-coast road trip across the US and we're in state number 6, Texas. I'm excited today because we're about to do the best activity in this state, leaving it. From this point on, the rest of the journey is about to get way more exciting. Last night, when we left for our hotel, Cheema almost killed us twice and wrecked the car as well. Sped through 2 red lights, almost hit a shopping cart that rolled out of a Walmart parking lot onto a road. Then, at an intersection, he looked to his left, cut the wheel full right, and rammed into the curb at such an angle with such incredible power that it leaked the whole front right strut. But this is a fucking Toyota, son. It'll complete the whole coast-to-coast road trip and drive for another 6 months, including several off-road trips, before I finally replace the struts and shocks with an Ironman Stage 3 foam cell lift kit. Yoda gang, baby. Anyway, I finally headed to the East Coast, but before we can leave Texas, we need to have a quick stop in Houston at my aunt's house. Can't leave without stopping there, or else I'll lose my best nephew title. Plus, she cooks incredible food, and the boys are hungry for some home-cooked meals after living on burgers for the past week. Biryani, nihari, lobia, kebabs, kheer, gulab jamun. We got the full treatment. Better than any restaurant. 5 stars, honestly. We stuffed ourselves and packed the rest for the journey. And we got $100 as a gift, so we had an idea to mix things up a bit with our itinerary. We changed our plans a bit and cancelled a few hotel reservations because we wanted to camp. It's important to note that, as experienced as I am now at camping in extremely remote terrain, at this point I'd only camped 4 times in my life. So we decided to wing it and get some cheap camping gear with the $100 gift from my aunt and see how it goes. After this trip, I got addicted to off-roading and camping in places that were incredibly hard to reach. From deserts to mountains, from beaches to canyons, I've camped all across the country in the next few years and almost never at a reserved campsite. I spent nearly 10 grand on camping gear and another 10 grand on off-road gear, new suspension, wheels and tires and a whole lot more. So no conditions would ever stop me. But at this point in time, we're ridiculously underprepared for what's coming up next on our journey.
Alright guys, so we left Texas for New Orleans. We made a stop, we opened the fucking windows and there's still so many mosquitoes inside. Man, there's so many. We're not going to New Orleans anymore. We're going straight to Boston. We're not even going to stop there. I swear there were so many mosquitoes. like hundreds fucking attacking from all sides. Like you're trying to take off 5 from this side and like 10 on your ear, and man, it's fucking crazy.
We just stopped there for like 5 minutes.
Literally five minutes, and we were fucking assaulted. And we're leaving. Well, fuck it. We don't need to see New Orleans. Yeah, it's fine. We'll come some other time.
Yeah.
In the winters, maybe. Yeah. Man, I lit this shit in the car. You can see that dead mosquito there. But there's still so many in the car, and they're still biting. Fucking hell, man. But straight to Boston. Let's go.
As mentioned a few episodes ago, we made a stupid mistake by going off our itinerary and trying to fit in New Orleans into the trip as well. We went off script, drove 5 hours from Houston to New Orleans, overspent on gas, and still didn't actually get to see New Orleans. As we pulled into a rest area for a short break, we were attacked by a huge swarm of giant mosquitoes that literally drove us all the way out of Louisiana. I did go back to New Orleans on my next cross-country trip, and thankfully I remembered to keep the doors and windows locked next to bodies of water. It's a 15-hour journey to Shenandoah National Park. We drove as far as we could through the night, crossed Mississippi, and finally stopped at a truck stop in Alabama.
रात को हम रुके थे लुइसियाना में और इतनी मच्छर थे कि चपेड़े मारी उन्होंने. We decided to go straight to Boston, लेकिन एक दिन की drive है, so I think we're gonna have to stay somewhere along the way. I'm gonna go check if there's a shower. सबसे जुगाड़ू सीन हमें मिल गया. आप लोग जो है ना रेस्ट एरियाज वगैरह भी बिस्तर शिस्तर लगाने पीछे ट्रेलर में और रोज आके $12 के शावर ले लिया करें. कमाल यार.
2 brown guys in Alabama. We were expecting at least some racism, but I was surprised to see that everyone we talked to in both Mississippi and Alabama were quite respectful. Actually, a lot more than the northern states that are so-called progressive. Southern hospitality is real. Next time I did a coast-to-coast tour, I spent more time in the southern states because we realized that there's no need to be afraid of gun-toting Jesus people, because we were gun-toting Jesus people as well. Anyway, after a shower, breakfast, topping up fluids and refilling the cooler, we set back out again. We drove through Georgia, where we got a much-needed car wash and some lunch.
Hardee's fail ho gaya yahan ka. It's horrible. We didn't even eat it. I think after the 1950s, drive-thrus and fast food got big in the US, and then like it took off from here. Almost all fast food is so horrible, and it's weird because it kind of started there.
Finally, we stopped in Knoxville, Tennessee to call it a night.
We were about to spend another night in the car, because I was very tight over here, so we decided to just get a hotel. It's been a long drive. I think it's been about 2,000 miles now that we've driven today, and we are extremely tired, so we really need to rest. Tomorrow morning around 4 a.m. we're going to leave for Shenandoah National Park.
Thankfully for dinner, we had some bomb-ass food left over. Biryani and jamashiri. If you know, you know. We checked out at 4 a.m. and head straight towards Shenandoah National Park.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम नाज़रीन व हज़रात, हम अपने अगले स्टॉप पे हैं. किधर जी? वर्जीनिया. आई थिंक लास्ट 3-4 स्टेट्स जो थे सारे पाकिस्तान की तरह लग रहे थे. जियोलॉजी वाइज, लैंडस्केप, दरख्त वगैरह सारी इकोसिस्टम टाइप बिल्कुल सेम पंजाब की तरह लग रहा था. और उससे जो पिछले 3-4 थे मेरे ख्याल से ग्रैंड कैनियन से निकलने टेक्सास तक, टेक्सास के एंड तक, वो सारे जो थे ज़रा बलोचिस्तान एरिया लग रहा था अपना. और नॉर्दर्न एरियाज जैसे भी है सिमिलर यहाँ पे, लेकिन वो शायद हम टच नहीं करेंगे इस बार ट्रिप पे. लेकिन देख के काफ़ी मज़े का लग रहा है कि उधर आगे से खोखा निकलेगा, जाके सिगरेट पकड़ो. तो रुपए की दाल शाल खाओ और निकलो आगे यानी। अभी हम ये वाली दाल खा रहे हैं, डंकिन डोनट्स वाली।
Crossed into Virginia, and before long we had arrived at Shenandoah. But something about the landscape seemed very familiar.
आप लोगों को लगा था हम एग्जैजरेट कर रहे हैं, ये वाकई पाकिस्तान की तरह लगता है। It's exactly like Margallah Hills. बताएं क्या आपको फर्क नजर आ रहा है? कोई हम ऊपर जा रहे हैं अभी सामने को
वाली साइड में जा रहे हैं।
मुनाल पे हमने बैठ के करना है जरा खाना शाना, फिर हाईलैंड जाके शीशा पीना।
हाँ जी फुल मार्गला साइड।
We entered the Loft Mountain campground and started scouting campsites to claim. We were welcomed by a beautiful black rat snake. They're non-venomous and these guys are very useful to have around since, as their name suggests, they hunt rats very efficiently. After claiming our site, we had to go to the registration office. On the way there, we saw something a lot more dangerous than a rat snake. This spicy noodle is a timber rattlesnake. It has hemotoxic venom that fucks up your cardiovascular system. Basically attacks your heart and blood, and it's very much lethal to humans. At this point, I hadn't had any training handling venomous snakes, so I was happy maintaining a safe distance.
अभी हमारे एंटर होने साथ ही basically we've seen a rattlesnake. That's a bit unnerving.
And apparently there are bears here. But I'll be honest, in my 8 years of traveling and actively searching for bears in the US, I've only ever seen one dart across the road at night near Lake Tahoe, so I'm not too worried about them.
It was a black snake. Because someone else had a picture of it. It's pretty good size. It looked like it's 5 or 6 feet just from the picture.
Yep.
And stuff. And rattlesnakes and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. This is what I was told.
Alright, so we're at Shenandoah National Park and we finally found a campsite, so we're going to spend the night here. It's really beautiful. It's gorgeous. But we weren't sure that we were going to actually find some campsites there, so we didn't bring anything. We've only got a tent and we need to get, things to cook out of and eat, drink. Walmart is an hour away. We're contemplating whether to drive an hour away and then drive an hour back here, or just get them from the expensive store, the camp store. And I think most likely it's going to be the camp store, because I don't want to drive any longer. I mean, look at this. US में हर जगह पे ऑलमोस्ट इस तरह का कोई साइन लगा होता है। 2-4 लफ्ज़ लिखे होंगे कि ये जगह कब बनी, कैसे बनी, क्या ख़ास है इसके बारे में। It just gives it, a bit more importance. ये देखें आप, this is literally like दामने कोस्ट के ऊपर थोड़ा जाए आपको यही व्यूज़ आते हैं। इमेजिन करें वहाँ पे सामने फैसल मस्जिद है, ठीक है। सिर्फ हमारे पास ये साइंस नहीं है, इसके अलावा हमें थोड़ा गन शन डाल दें इधर, थोड़े शॉपर शूपर फेंक दे थोड़े और CD70 और 125 पे बॉयज़ घूम रहे होंगे, फिर ज़रा फील आए ना पाकिस्तान वाली। वरना बाकी सब सेम है, सिर्फ जो है ना वो पाकिस्तानी वाइब नहीं आ रही है।
We decided to get some things from the expensive camp store near the registration area and made our way to the campsite.
चलें जी, ये स्पॉट है हमारा आज के लिए कैंपिंग का। तो सबसे पहले ज़रा फेरा शेरा मार लिया जाए यहाँ का, देखें कि कोई सांप शाम तो नहीं है। पहली 2 नज़र आ गई, क्या पता इधर भी पड़ा हो। चक्कर तो लगा लिया सारी जगह का, तो फिलहाल तो क्लियर ही लग रहा है, कुछ नज़र नहीं आया।
After we made sure there were no snakes here that needed to be scared away, we started setting up camp. All we have is an absolutely rubbish survival kit with some dull knives, a cheap tent, some shitty sleeping bags, and an air mattress that's definitely going to fuck our backs tonight. No pillows, no blankets, none of the fancy camping gear. set out to explore the area around us and try to find some bears. It's just around evening time, so we might just get lucky.
And they learn very much over here. Babu, you can hear the effects of the amphitheater. Very beautiful. Let me tell you that. They've shown a bison over there. But I wonder, how can there be bisons here? Makes no sense.
Right, so we're at the Fraser Discovery Trail. There's usually bears around. I'm hoping we run into one. If we do, that'd be really fucking cool and terrifying. And I've got a machete and an axe, so I'm ready to go out fighting. Let's do this.
यहाँ पे यूज करें ना दूरबीन.
After having no luck spotting bears, we went back to the campsite to start a fire and get some snacks going. Maybe the smell of food would finally do the trick and we'd see some bears. Time to call it a night. Tomorrow we've got to pack up and head to Boston. This has been a wonderful experience, even without all the fancy camping gear. As horrible as the tent was, it did its job, and we got to see some wildlife, had some s'mores, and got a chance to relax and enjoy the sounds of nature. Experiences like these are worth more anything any city in the world has to offer.
हम अभी निकले हैं Loft Mountain campground से Shenandoah National Park में हमने रात को ज़रा कैंपिंग की है. काफ़ी अच्छा स्टे था. I think I had a nice sleep. What about you?
Great time here. The tent was good.
The tent was nice, the campsite was nice, we saw some snakes. We didn't see any bears and we really wanted to see a bear. I left some bologna and I don't think he likes bologna.
Well, we've showered already. Need to head to Boston today. I think it's about a 13-hour drive from here. We do need to stop in Washington DC to get an oil change. It's been 5,300 miles now and we've still got a long ways to go, so I think it's time to make our first stop for the oil change and we'll go try and meet the president or something, I guess.